Welcome to the Garden Tomb. The Garden Tomb is found just outside Jerusalem's city walls, close to Damascus Gate, and is considered by some to be the site of the burial and resurrection of Jesus Christ. That's the Garden Tomb. Going that way. We're going to the place where Jesus was buried, right?
Yes.
They're going to have a service there.
Yes.
Yes. That Garden Tomb. Temperature right now is very nice, mild. Yes. So good morning. The time right now here is around 10 o'clock in the morning, local time, and the temperature is really nice, mild. So we're going to this Garden Tomb, owned, maintained by Garden Tomb, Jerusalem Station, and this is where Jesus was buried. Yeah. We are here in Jerusalem, by the way. The Garden Tomb is a rock-cut tomb in Jerusalem, which was earthed in 1867 and is considered by some Protestants to be the site of the burial and resurrection of Jesus. The story of the Garden Tomb. It is the site of Christian worship and witness located in the heart of the historic Jerusalem. We're gonna have our service here. We're gonna have a Sabbath service here at Garden Tomb.
Now, this garden only came into existence in the latter part of the 19th century. We're not dogmatic here saying that this is the place. So what we have here is an authentic Jewish tomb that dates back to the second temple period. And what we do this morning is we look at the gospel narrative and the scriptures to see, could this possibly be the Golgotha? Now, Golgotha is the Aramaic word for the place of the skull. You probably know it best by its Latin name. Calvary is the Latin name and Golgotha is the Aramaic. And could this possibly be the tomb in the garden of Joseph of Arimathea? Now, whether the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is the right place or this could possibly be the place is not important. What's most important is the event itself. Because he's in neither place. You can make out a building on top of that road. You can see it through the trees. It's famous for one reason. An American family that moved from Chicago in the latter part of the 19th century called the Sprafford family. Horatio Sprafford. He wrote that lovely hymn, "It Is Well With My Soul." That's where they lived initially when they came to Jerusalem. Over here we have the feature itself, Skull Hill. Now this photograph was taken around 1890 and you can see here a skull feature. But if you were taking an aerial view, the whole hill had the shape of a skull. That's why it was known locally as Golgotha. But because of the bus station, that's all you're seeing today. Now if you look to the right hand side, you'll see a lamppost. Come halfway across and you just see a little overhang of a rock on top. Come halfway down from that and you just about make out the eye sockets. The bridge in the nose collapsed a number of years ago. Now this is a map of Jerusalem. When he got on top of Mount Moriah, of course, Isaac asked, where's the animal for sacrifice? And Abraham gives a prophetic word and he says, on this mount, God will provide. That's our interpretation in our English Bible. But the Hebraic is much clearer. It said that on this mount, God will reveal himself. Now, when we think of prophecy, because us Westerners have been affected really with a Greek mindset, we think of a prediction and then a fulfillment. But in the Jewish mind, prophecy is a pattern. And what of Arimathea and Nicodemus. Now we know both men were very religious and very God-fearing. We also know they were part of the Jewish council, the Sanhedrin. And we know that one of them came to see Jesus privately one night. And Jesus said to Nicodemus, you're a teacher of Israel and you haven't a clue what I'm talking about. Unless you're born from above or born again in the Spirit of God, you cannot understand spiritual things. Now if Jesus says this to Nicodemus, who's a teacher of Israel, I believe he's also speaking to us. And a whole. Now if you look at these two notches when I come to the next photograph, because 20 years later, when the garden was purchased by the Garden Tomb Association, Conrad Sheik had now gone down to 1st century level. And you will see down here the channel where the rolling stone was placed along. This here was the original opening, and then it was enlarged a few centuries later. And there are the two notches you saw in the previous photo.
That's the tomb where Jesus was buried.
You really have to understand the gospel.
Jesus Christ declared that we're power to be the Son of God by the resurrection from the dead. So I'm here at the tomb where Jesus was buried.
Yeah,
This is the tomb of Jesus.
early in
where
the
he was
day.
buried.
Thank you for coming, all of you. God bless you, eh? You know to go back where you have communion?
Yes. I'm
Go
here
that
at the
way.
tomb where Jesus was buried.
Pero tú vas a salir, es que yo como voy a estar aquí. No puedo agarrar,
Oops, I'm sorry. No, that's okay. It's right there.
up on top, right?
No, that one.
Es así. Yo lo que sabe, que uno por uno, vamos a matar.
Garden Tomb Communion Service. Taking Holy Communion does not only remind us of His suffering, but also shows us the amount of love Jesus had to us. That's Jaime Jorge playing the violin here in Jerusalem. Actually, at the tomb of Jesus.
communion, and then those traveling with me will have some time back in the garden tomb, and we'll all be going to lunch together. Years ago, a newsman that some of you grew up watching, Tom Brokaw, was asked, if you could interview anyone in history, who would it be? And Brokaw immediately replied, well, Jesus of Nazareth, for all the obvious reasons.
What is the purpose of the communion? According to the Bible, Christians partake of Holy Communion in remembrance of the body and the blood of Jesus that was broken and poured at the cross. Taking Holy Communion does not only remind us of His suffering, but also shows us the amount of love Jesus had to us.
phone doesn't work right. That's why I use the camera. I'll take it.
Personally, I'm so blessed visiting this garden tomb. This garden tomb is a must see if you are looking for a spiritual experience. Very peaceful, beautiful, and meaningful. After visiting the garden tomb, our group went to Ashara Hotel for our lunch at Ashara Pizzeria. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment. God bless you all. Duck Rod.